Hey, my name is Matt Hertig. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alight Analytics. Today we're going to talk about the roles that you need for your analytics team, your marketing analytics team. What kind of roles do you need to be successful? Technology by itself isn't going to ever bring you success. You have to have the right people married with the right technology and the associated processes to be successful long term. So I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna share again some of these 6 roles that we've identified as really key to both your early stages of implementing an analytics practice as well as growing it to maturity where you're actually doing predictive modeling and really cool stuff. So we use this framework. It's called the 6 roles of marketing analytics, and you can see it's built in quadrants. So at the top, you have your business strategy. At the bottom, you have your technology strategy, and to the left, technical expertise, and to the right, your business expertise. So obviously, it kind of goes without saying, the first role that you need is the strategist. You need someone who is motivated to use data to make decisions. And I say that because, believe it or not, being in this business for so long, sometimes people don't really want to use data to make decisions. I just call them check writers. They just write checks and they don't really care what the hell happens with their spend. For the majority of us, though, that live in this decade, in this era, it's a strategist, someone who is data-driven, and you want to use robust analytics to drive results. And those results really should manifest themselves in growth. And growth can come in the form of leads, revenue, however you define that. So that's just kind of table stakes, and that's just kind of a yes, I need to be in that role. So as you start your practice, the very first role you're going to need is what we would call an analyst. Somebody who can help you tell your performance story. Somebody who understands data, somebody who is probably an Excel jockey, somebody who understands, pivot tables. But I want you to hear me now. Your analytic strategy isn't going to be built in in Excel and PowerPoint, for God's sakes. We have to take those and put them to the side. And so when I talk about a visualization strategy, I'm talking about using tools like Tableau or Power BI or Looker or ThoughtSpot or other visualization tools that are far beyond the capabilities of just columns and rows like Excel uses. So your analyst you're going to be your first and most important foundational hire in starting your team. The second role that you're going to need, well, actually the third role to come alongside the analyst is going to be a data engineer. And so I want you to think about this in terms of the levels of questions that you're going to be able to answer. As you start as a strategist with just your analyst, you're going to be able to connect to APIs like Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Google Analytics and Google Ads, and you can throw data onto a dashboard and you can create some visibility, which is great. And that's really step one. But as you start to grow in your maturity, the next role you're going to need is a data engineer, somebody who can help you manage those connections and also the configuration of that data, because you're going to want to get beyond just showing Facebook data alongside Google Ads data. What you want to show is total impressions, for example, if I'm running paid social and paid search. So you're going to need a data engineer to help out and come alongside the analyst. So that's role number 3. So the fourth role is also going to live down here in this technology strategy, technology expertise quadrant. And that's going to be a solution design architect. So here's what's happening. As a strategist, you work with your analyst to get things started. Then as the strategist starts asking more sophisticated questions, the next resource we deploy is a data engineer. Now, as a strategist, you continue to make more data-driven decisions, and you start thinking about, well, I really want to align what we're doing with sales. So I need to integrate things like CRM data or sales data or transaction data and align it to all of my media data that I'm actually creating now. So I'm going to need somebody beyond this, what a data engineer is doing, to think about my solution long-term and help me scale it and be able to streamline the integration of these other data sets that I'm going to need. So these 4 are foundationally critical to really creating that alignment in analytics. Now, here's what's going to happen. There's two roles left. And those two roles are fundamentally critical to helping you achieve to what we call level 4, which is about predicting future results. So at Alight, we preach 4 levels of analytics. There's visibility, there's alignment, there's execution, and then there's prediction. So to get to prediction, being able to model out performance before you ever spend a dollar, it's going to be dependent upon data. Now, I'm sure that most of you listening today, if you work for a brand, there's never any political environment around data and getting access to data. Well, that's BS. We know that. So in order to achieve greater decision-making power, you're going to need this 5th role, which is what we call an influencer. And that influencer is a change agent. They work alongside the strategist. So the strategist, as a reminder, understands the business strategy and has some technical expertise. The influencer is really grounded in the business and understands the business strategy. This could be somebody, it could be a CFO, it could be a CEO, it could be somebody who is not mired into the analytics space on a day in and day out basis, but can help break down barriers that you run up against when trying to get access to data that you need to ultimately unleash the last role, which is what we call a data scientist. And the data scientist is all about swimming in data and uncovering patterns and insights to model future solutions. So these are the 6 roles. Now, there's one rule that's not on here. And that unwritten rule is that you can only be one of these people. And here's why, well, not only the only reason, one of the many reasons why organizations fail at analytics is they try to play too many roles. Like, oh, I'm a strategist, but at night I play an analyst. Oh, and when I run into a problem, I become a data engineer on the weekend. And that process disintegrates. It's not scalable and it lacks focus and depth. So if you're looking at this chart, I'm going to challenge you to say, where are you? Where should you be? Because you can only be one of these people if you want to be successful in marketing analytics long term. So those are the 6 roles that we talk about. And we found this to be true over and over again, whether you're an agency, and a strategist may be an account director, it may be a media planner, it may be obviously an owner of an agency. On the brand side, it could be a CMO, a campaign manager, a director. You need to stay in that quadrant. And you need to have the expertise come alongside you to be able to do these other roles, whether it be hiring them or partnering with a company, which is our model, by the way, partnering with a company to help fill in these gaps.